Hello guys, welcome to the session on getting started with Zoho SalesIQ Zobot. I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Zoho SalesIQ and then also about the Zobot. So I'll quickly take you through the steps that you'll have to follow to get the Zobot running on your website. Let's get started right away. So what is SalesIQ? So the Zobot is a platform on Zoho SalesIQ. There might be a few of you who are familiar with what SalesIQ is and how it works, or you might have read about it. For those of you who are new to this, let me brief you on what SalesIQ is. Zoho SalesIQ is a hassle-free live chat software that was designed for customer support, business growth, sales, marketing, customer engagement, and so much more. So it's basically live chat, visitor tracking, audio calls, mobile SDK, powerful chatbots, which is a Zobot, obviously, and so much more rolled on to one platform. So in this webinar, we'll focus on Zobots, their skills, how they can help your business, and how to build a simple Zobot. So in SalesIQ, for the prospects on your website, you have visitor tracking, you have intelligent triggers to send out personalized chat invites, you have lead scoring to find out who your potential customers are, and then you have campaign integration. And to keep these prospects engaged, you have live chat, you have audio calls, which is a very recent addition, and then you have chatbots, you have CRM integration, and to retain all of the prospects that you have engaged, that you've been engaging so far, you have in-chat articles and FAQs, and then you have chat routing, feedback management, help desk integration, and so much more. This is just a small bunch of features that are available on Zoho SalesIQ. There's so much more to it, so you can start exploring right away. Now I'll show you how to create a website and install the SalesIQ code on your website. You have two options for this, Weebly or Zoho site to do this. So first, let's go to Zoho sites. So you have to log into sites.zoho.com. And since I've created a few websites already, they have been listed on my dashboard. So I'm going to click on Create New Website. So first, I will have to give my site a name. Okay, so I'm going to give it a name and then go to the template gallery. So here you can pick out a template for your website as per your business requirements or whatever your requirements are. So I'm going to be choosing one of these. Let me choose this. So once you choose the template, Zoho Sites will start building your website. Okay, so here is your website. So the next step here is to enable the Zoho SalesIQ live chat widget on the website. So when you build a site using Zoho Sites, it's very easy to set up the live chat widget on the website. So for this, you will have to go to settings, and here inside integrations, you will find Zoho SalesIQ live chat. So you will have to click on it, and then you will choose the portal name. Okay, so I'm going to choose my portal name, and then my app inside Zoho SalesIQ, and I'm just going to enable this add live chat toggle here and click connect. So that's all that's required to enable the chat widget on your website. So let me show you how this is going to look. Okay. So now that we've enabled the chat widget, let's publish our website. So I will have to give a subdomain. So, okay. So yes, looks like my subdomain is available, and I'm going to proceed to publish. Okay, there looks like some error. Okay, so there looks like an error. So once you proceed to publish, you will be able to see the live chat widget on your website. So now we'll go to the second option. Okay. So then you have Weebly. So it's the same here. So you will have to go to Weebly in the dashboard. You will have to click on Add Site. Okay. So I'm just going to need a website. So let me choose a template again. And I'm going to click on Start Editing. Okay. So let me just give it a name. Okay, looks like it's available. So I'm going to click on a subdomain of Weebly, and yes, so my setup is done. So now all that I have left to do is to embed the live chat code on my website. I'm going to drag anywhere inside the build. Okay. So I'll click on this and click on Edit Custom HTML. So here is where we're going to be posting the live chat widget code. Okay, so I'll tell you where you can find your live chat widget code. So once you create a new portal on Zoho SalesIQ, you will be redirected to this page, and you will find the live chat widget code here. So you will copy this code and you will go back to your builder and paste it here. Once you've done pasting it, you will publish the website. So do you see it here? So this is the Zoho SalesIQ live chat widget. This is what it will look like once you've published on it. It will look the same on Zoho sites as well, but since we've encountered a small error or something, it doesn't seem to be publishing. Okay, so that's about setting up websites on the two different options available. Now that we're done setting up the website and installing the code on the website, I'll tell you what the Zobot is and how you can set it up. So the Zobot is a bot development platform that's available inside SalesIQ. So with this, SalesIQ users can build very compelling bots that can automate customer interactions. We can program the bots to respond, to act, and to qualify customers, those customers that land on the website. These robots, they can maintain conversations with users on your website in natural language. They can understand the intent of the user and also send a response based on the business rules and data of any organization. And they can be run on both websites and on mobile applications. So let me tell you how the Zobot is built. First, there's a chat interface for user interactions on the website or on the mobile application. So this is where hundreds of message exchanges take place between the Zobot and the visitors who land on your website. Then it has a bot engine where you can design the bot to work as per your business needs. This is where you basically define the functionalities of the bot or its working. Typically the bot engine will decide the flow of the bot. So when the bot is handling conversations with visitors, it collects a lot of data. So in this case, you will have to look at this data later on or use it for some purpose. And it has to be stored in a place, right? So that data is collected by the Zobot and it's stored inside Zoho SalesIQ. So you also have a connection from Zoho SalesIQ to an external service or, a database like CRM to store your data. This database is necessary for the visitor insights that are collected by the chatbot. By this I mean details like, visitor name, email address, contact number, locations, appointments, tickets, etc. So Zoho SalesIQ basically provides you all three components under one roof. Okay. So now we'll move on to setting up the Zobot. Okay. So to set up the Zobot, you will have to navigate to your portal again and then navigate to settings and then click on Zobot. So here you will click on add bot. Okay, so now we'll start configuring the bot as per website requirements. So I'm going to give my bot a name. I'm going to name it Zach, and I'll also give description. and then I'll choose the website. So this is the website that we had already created, so I'm going to choose that, and the departments that are listed under that particular website will be displayed. So it's mandatory that you choose at least one department. You can configure more than one department for each of your websites, but you have to make sure that you choose at least one, okay? So then the bot will start taking up chats for that particular department on the website. So then we'll be choosing the visitor type. So when you configure the Zobot is set to trigger proactive chat invites to your visitors, okay? So in case any of your visitors have to be triggered with a message, they have to match the criteria that you set under this section. So here the default criteria will already be set to all visitors. So messages will be triggered to all visitors. You can modify this whenever you want to. You can choose you can choose from a huge list of criteria that are listed in this section. So you have OS, you have number of past chats, lead score, and all of that. So I'm going to be categorizing them by the number of past chats is equal to 5. So here you can add additional conditions by clicking on or and if you want to narrow down your filters. And once you're done setting up the conditions, you will click on apply. Okay. So once you're done choosing the criteria, you will move on to the next section, which is when the bot must trigger the visitor who lands on your website. So this can either be when the visitor lands on your website, or he just clicks on the widget, performs a custom action, or initiates a chat. Okay, so I'm going to be choosing land on your site and spend more than 3 seconds because I don't want to keep them waiting. So you have seconds and minutes, so it's totally up to you. You can decide when you want the bot to trigger messages to your visitors. Following that, we'll be setting up working hours for the Zobot on the website. So you can choose when you want the Zobot to assist visitors on your website. This can be either round the clock or just during business hours, or only during non-business hours, or only when operators are offline during your company's business hours. Okay, so I'm going to be choosing 24/7. I want my bot to function round the clock, so I'm just choosing 24/7. Then the bot typing status. Okay, I'm setting this to immediate. So the bot typing status, visitors on your website, once they send out a message, they need to know if someone is responding to them or not, right? So for your visitors to know that the bot is typing out a reply, we are setting the bot typing status. So I'm just setting it to immediate. So once message comes in from the visitor's side, the bot typing status will immediately show up on the chat widget telling visitors that the bot is preparing their answer and it will send it out eventually. Okay. And then you have the handoff section. So what is handoff? Visitors on your website, when they're in the middle of the conversation with a Zobot, in case they want to switch talking to a human operator, they can do so by choosing handoff. So they choose the handoff option. Chats will be forwarded to all of the available operators in the organization, and one of them can pick it up and answer it. So in case you want to give your visitors the liberty of talking to human operators, you can enable this option, or you can choose to keep it disabled. And then there are 5 different platforms and an upcoming platform that you can choose to build your Zobot with. So for now, we'll just stick to 5 platforms. So you can choose any of these based on your area of expertise or familiarity. Okay. So I'll tell you about each of these platforms one by one. All right. So first about SalesIQ scripts. Okay. So SalesIQ scripts is a bot building platform that uses Deluge as its online scripting language. You might be wondering what Deluge is. In case you don't know, Deluge is Zoho's online scripting language. Okay, it's a low-code online scripting language. So if you want a completely bot-driven conversation and you want to be able to customize your bot from scratch, you can choose the powerful SalesIQ scripts platform. I'll tell you how it works. Okay. So initially, a visitor lands. Visitor matches the criteria that is set inside the Zobot. Then the bot will trigger a message. If not, it does not trigger a message, and the visitor must proceed to initiating a chat with the Zobot. When the visitor sends out a message, the message handler will come into place. It checks if the context in the message exists and in case it does, it will collect all of the inputs that it can find in the message. Otherwise, it will look for another message that matches the existing context. So once the message handler is successfully executed, context handler executes. It is invoked after collecting all of the necessary inputs for one particular context. So then we have the Zia Skills platform, which is again an offering from Zoho. So what is Zia Skills? It's a conversational bot building assistant that uses natural language understanding to process and perform skills and visitor questions. So inside the Zia Skills console, you can define a unique set of actions to respond. So Zia Skills basically functions on, it is structured around skills and actions. So skill is a collection of actions that you can define to the bot to perform for website visitors, and action is a single task, on the other hand, that has the ability to perform multiple conversations. So why should you choose Zia Skills? Because it gives you the benefit of using both plain text questions and code to configure your Zobot. So you can insert questions manually, or you can structure the code inside the different functions. Like you have context handler functions and execution functions. You can structure the code inside them. So using Zia Skills, you can directly answer visitors' questions. You can construct responses by fetching data from Zoho SalesIQ, or you can also perform an action dynamically based on the. Let me also list out the important benefits for you. So it's a highly advanced and efficient serverless bot building platform. So configuration and coding are both done inside the platform itself, and the scripting environment will give you production and development mode, so you can script and save right there. And when you build an action and define the context, Zia Skills will execute it without any coding, absolutely no coding. And a single action, like I said, can perform multiple conversations. And with Zia Skills, you can create bots that ask questions or perform operations for visitor queries. Okay, now the working. So once a visitor lands on the website and matches the trigger rules set inside the portal, the Zobot will trigger a message. If the visitor doesn't match the criteria, it will wait for the visitor to send a message as usual. So once the message is received from the visitor's side, it checks the message for params. If there are params, it collects the inputs, and then the param loader function will. This is useful when we don't know the params, action params beforehand, right? Usually when params differ based on users, so it can add new params to the action dynamically at runtime, besides the already statically defined params. And in case these params are not available, then the bot starts checking if the context in the visitor's message exists. If it's available, then it will collect all of the inputs in the context message and go to the context handler function. So this context handler function is used to define the flow of an action, of any action that you define, and it can be used to change the order in which params are prompted to users at runtime. So here you can skip params, you can also do custom validations of param values and all of that. So if the context doesn't exist, what happens? Then the execution function will come into play. So this is an endpoint to the execution of an action. It will basically define the fulfillment or the completion of an action. So the actual action execution happens here, and then a success or a failure message is sent out to the user at completion. This response can either be plain text or it can be rich text. Okay. That is how the Zia Skills platform functions. So this is another platform. The next platform is Dialogflow. So Dialogflow is an end-to-end build once, deploy everywhere development suite for creating conversational interfaces for websites, mobile apps, popular messaging platforms, and IoT devices. So it's a very powerful tool that lets you create conversational tools without the complications of having to handle natural language processing. So you can use it to build interfaces such as chatbots and conversational IVRs that enable natural and rich interactions between your users and your business. So next I'll tell you how this platform works. Again, when a visitor lands on the website and matches the trigger rule that's set, a configured welcome message will be displayed by the bot. And then when the visitor responds with a message, the intents configured in Dialogflow are checked if they match with the visitor's message. and Dialogflow responds with the fallback intent if none of the intents are matched. So when the intents match, Dialogflow collects the missing parameters. Okay. So then the fulfillment scripts are executed and responses are returned to the Zobot to be displayed in the chat window. So the next platform that you can use to build Zobots is the Watson platform. So the Watson assistant powered by IBM helps you build a powerful bot assistant for your website. You can customize the Watson assistant according to your website business needs and deploy it across multiple channels to bring help to your customers whenever and wherever they need it. So Watson Assistant is pretty much an offering for building conversational interfaces into any website or application. Most of these chatbots try to mimic human interactions, which can, sometimes frustrate users when a misunderstanding arises. But Watson platform knows when to search for an answer from a knowledge base, when to ask for clarity, and when to direct your visitors to a human. You can integrate the Watson assistants that you have built with the Zobot and let them serve your website visitors very effectively. So, like I said, 5 different platforms, and you can choose one based on your area of familiarity. So, let me show you one platform and just tell you what there is in brief. So then when you choose SalesIQ scripts, you will see a default code inside the script builder. Okay, so this is where you'll be your bot. So once you create a new bot, you will see a default script that is available. So you can either make modifications to these default scripts or you can start building from scratch. You have templates here that you can use for your reference. They're all functionality specific and platform specific, industry specific. So you can choose any of these templates and you can use them for your reference. You also have a sample codes section that you can use for your reference. You have industry specific sample codes in there. You can look at them, you can see how the handlers are structured, how the functions are defined and all of that. Okay, but you need to remember that will be accepted for the final scripts that you submit to us. Okay, so these are just for your reference. Anything that you submit to us, any final scripts that you submit to us must be built entirely by you and not influenced by any of these templates or sample codes. Okay. So you have preview windows in each platform where you can check each of your functionalities before directly publishing them on the website. Okay, so these preview windows, the whole point is to not let any of the changes that you make here reflect directly on your website. Okay, so once you're done configuring all of the bot functionalities, you can then proceed to publishing it on the website. So when you publish any bot from any platform on the website, the bot and the website that you have created using Zoho Sites or Weebly. So I think that will clarify your question as to where the bot will pop up on the website. So instead of you or any operator handling the chat inside the website, the bot will start taking up conversations. Okay. So yes, we've reached the end of our webinar and I hope all of you found it informative. If you have any questions about the topics that we had covered today, please do feel free to write back to us and we'd be extremely glad to help. So I'll see you in the next webinar. Until then, happy Zobotting.